Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Chris Lane here in San Diego, California. I'm on day 4 of my 30-day to 4K personal challenge to myself, all by creating an online business, an affiliate marketing business, that is, to be a little more exact. So reason for day 4's broadcast is just to kind of go over the progress of today that I wanted to share with you. Basically, I start pretty much every day to a certain norm. We're still fine-tuning. Well, I say we, I guess I speak on behalf of my wife as well, because she's my #1 fan. But we're still fine-tuning my routine and how I wake up. I've had a lot of drastic changes I've made recently, personally for myself, to improve my thinking, improve my life, to be around even further for my children. But one of the things I wanted to start off saying was, at the end of every day, when I go to end my day and feel that my day is finally complete and my workday is done, I always leave a book on top of my laptop, as that is the first thing I always power up in the morning. So with that being the first thing I always reach for, is to power up my laptop. When I get down to the office, the book's already there. So I grab the book and I take the time to read one chapter every morning before I even start my day, as my computer's powering on, which takes 5 minutes because I'm still a little old school and still operating on my laptop that's kind of outdated and probably ready for an upgrade, but we're just not there yet. But anyways, I just kind of want to go over what the book was. The book is The Indwelling Life of Christ, All of Him and All of Me, by Major W. Ian Thomas. That book was actually sent to me by a really good friend of mine. He's a kind of a business mentor associate of mine named Matt Evans. He sent that book to me, thought it'd be a good read, and it definitely has. So I appreciate that, Matt, for sending that over to me. It is something I'm taking advantage of every morning. Like I said, it's kind of part of my norm. Another great thing that happened this morning, to start my day off even on more of a positive note, was the fact that one of my kids had received an award for excellence in all subjects. So that was definitely a very proud moment that I got to share and see, which is another reason what pushes me and keeps me on this entrepreneur journey, is looking at my children and knowing that, you know, their dad is building an empire for them, to hopefully one day they can kind of take over and operate and just be truly inspired by all the work and the time that I've been putting into this project to try to get this off basically from the kitchen table to the desk, now from the desk to the computer, and from the computer out to you guys, to hopefully encourage, inspire, and reach some other fellow entrepreneurs or small businesses that are just kind of looking for different angles and different ways to grow their business. Now, with that being said, you always have to reflect every day of all your blessings and the reasons, I guess, that motivate you to wake up every day. It's not that you wake up every day for that, but it's the fact that they are the inspiration that keeps you pushing. Whatever that may be. If you don't have children, maybe that's, a home, a car, a pet. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's you enjoy giving back to your community, donating. Maybe you're just hungry for money. You just like to save, to take trips, to travel. Whatever it is, whatever your motivation, whatever your strength is, just count your blessings in the morning, knowing the fact that you got another opportunity to make that goal happen. You're just another step further and closer to that. The other thing that is pretty much the norm, is listening to podcasts every day. It's something that I've mentioned before. I do it every morning. The first thing I do in the morning is reach over and grab my phone. I know some people say it's kind of a bad trait to do. To me, it's part of my norm. It's the way I like to wake up. I like to wake up to looking at my social media, checking my emails, just checking certain things every morning real quick. And then I have a 4-step note on the side of my wall that basically says, count your blessings, stay focused, stay motivated, and be thankful. And that's as soon as I put my 2 feet on the floor, I have my phone in the hand, I link it up real quick to broadcast whatever podcast I feel like taking off with that morning. There's, a handful of podcasts that really get me going in the morning, and I'm not saying like I'm sitting there buried in their podcasting, but it's just these little nuggets I take away are just priceless. And it seems that a lot of people do offer quite a few of those nuggets. It just depends on where you're at in your business and what you want to do. At the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to, is where you're at and what you're looking to try to accomplish. And so I could sit here and recommend, listen to this podcast, listen to that podcast, etc. But I don't know exactly where you're at. Maybe you're an existing business already and you're doing well, but you just need more traffic online. Or maybe you're just starting out, you don't have a business whatsoever, and you barely even have an idea right now. It just depends. I mean, everybody's nuggets kind of somewhat go towards other people in different ways and different purposes of where they're at. So that's another thing I like to, start the day off with, is a podcast. And I keep podcasts kind of running throughout the whole day for the most part. And I feel I do have to take a break, because it's something I don't personally recommend anyone to do, is to sit there and indulge yourself in an extreme amount of podcast, which is something I've done the last 4 days. Is basically, I felt like this past 4 days have all been educational training for myself. It's been all about me just learning different techniques, steps, tricks, I guess, not even tricks, just techniques and tips on how to really get your business up and moving. And when I say up and moving, like, I've built websites before, so that's not necessarily a hard concept for me to grasp. It's just trying to tie all the pieces together and making sure that it is pretty flawless. And everyone always says you might as well just start, put it out there, quit trying to perfect it. You can perfect it along the way. I just don't like that concept with myself. It just doesn't sit right with me. I feel, yes, you always learn as you go, but I don't want to put out any type of garbage, and I don't want to look like I don't know what's going on. I want to make sure I do understand the whole concept behind the systems and how each thing operates and what purpose it serves and the relevance to the business that I'm trying to present and serve to people. Now, another issue that I'm facing is I have a problem with taking notes. Not that I don't take notes. I definitely take notes pretty much throughout everything I listen to, see, learn, etc. My issue that I have, though, in taking notes is that I have a problem writing them down on scrap paper. I'm very big on trying to, recycle and not necessarily waste stuff. So if I do mess up on printing, or if anyone messes up on anything that they print, I ask them just to put it in this file bin that I have, put an X on whatever they messed up so we know it is a mistake. Because there's been times I've had some documents I'm like, am I supposed to file that? And then realize it was actually just scrap. So I tried to utilize that scrap paper by writing notes on the back of it. Thought that was a really, nice idea for myself to kind of save paper, save the earth, etc. And then I came to the problem that I'm facing right now, which is having an abundance of notes on loose paper with no titles or direction of what it was geared towards at that moment. And so bad I didn't even date them. Like, I was even thinking about this, man, if I just dated them, I probably would have known somewhat of what business I was focused on at that time or what that might apply to. Sometimes it's hearing a nugget, for instance, of a WordPress plugin that might be able to provide you a better service, software, might be able to rank you better, or just maybe it's how to, like a MailChimp, how to install your MailChimp, for instance. That's a good plugin. Or Google Analytics. That's a plugin that everyone has to have. You have to have Google Analytics on your WordPress name, period. On your WordPress website, period. You just have to. If you're not, you're not getting found. If you're not getting found, you're not making no money. If you're not making no money, you're going to fail, and then you're going to be mad and wonder why you're not making, why no traffic's coming your way, and etc. It's because you didn't do that one step. That one step is installing Google Analytics as a plugin. Period. You have to. If you have WordPress, you have to install Google Analytics. Just a must. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, so back to my thought that I was just kind of having, I guess, before I ran off on a little tangent about scrap paper, was that one of the things that I've realized I have to do is to start utilizing my computer a little more and the resources that are on my computer. I mean, if you have email, you have a place to take notes. If you have Microsoft Word, you have a place to take notes. If you just have a computer, you have a place to take notes. I have started to today take more notes into my computer and save them into my computer versus writing them down on scrap paper and not knowing where the hell they went to or what they went to weeks, months down the road. And then to sit down and try to put all those together somewhat becomes a pain in the rear because you're typing for 5 hours of basically bullshit, because some of it's outdated by the time you're there, and typing it in, and you just save some time, take better notes, organize yourself, completely set up Dropbox. I set up my Dropbox. It is something I do highly encourage. It's free for up to a certain amount of space, and then you can, activate or upgrade, I should say, not activate, but upgrade for more space if needed. So that kind of takes care of the paper waste. Utilize the note sections that you have all over the place. I mean, you have them in your email, you have it, just find one central location and then create some folders and stick all your notes in there. And it will definitely help you tremendously with time management and trying to conquer out some of these goals. So going on to the flip side, though, on some positive feedback as well, again, was I was able to connect with about 4 influential people that do basically inspire me to keep moving forward. And I like to throw any type of idea, concept, situation I may be in to basically the same people for the most part. The first person, he's actually like my #1 point man. His name's Marcus Allen. He actually resides in North Carolina. Now he's a brother from another mother. He's kind of like that little brother I always wanted but never got to have, if that makes any sense. Now he's been my longest childhood friend. I think I was 16, he was like 14 when we met, but we've actually stayed in contact every week throughout the years. And when we do get together, it's kind of like we never skipped a beat, but he's definitely a true inspiration to me on keeping me grounded of who I am. And he always keeps 100% real with me. He's not ever trying to sugarcoat anything or bullshit around the bush with me. He's also gave me a personal addiction to Nike Air Jordans. So thank you, Marcus, for that one. But I threw the concept, I threw my little idea over at Marcus. I wanted to kind of see what his thoughts were, see if he would see if it was a viable business, and if he could see any type of obstacles I may be facing down the road. And of course, like always, Marcus did see the potential. And I wouldn't say like always, because there's been plenty of businesses I've talked to him about where he's like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, man, just an idea. Just wanted to pay, you know." And it's not, no idea is ever a bad idea, but sometimes you have to think those ideas out a little more logically and see if it's really at the end of the day going to be worth you devoting your time and getting your hustle on. So like I was saying, you know, he did see the value in the concept that I'm trying to present, but there was some obstacles that he did see. And number one, that was just trying to maintain a list of subscribers, people that would actually find value in the information that I'm providing for them, and making sure once I do have those people, those subscribers, that I'm keeping in constant contact with them. And he's absolutely right. You want to make sure you have a good follow-up system, a good lead system in place. So when people do come to you for that extra information that you can provide for them to help them reach their goals, that you don't stop to follow up with them, that you stay on top of them, of yourself, and vice versa. So it was a good conversation. I'm glad I got to have that today with Marcus. Like I said, I try to connect with him weekly, and just try to catch up on anything that we have going on. He's a big fitness guru, so I've been trying to encourage him to take the entrepreneur plunge and dive into the world of entrepreneurship, and just start talking about his journey. I mean, he has a phenomenal journey of how he became so buff. The guy was like 140 pounds at like 5'9", I think, 5'8", and now he's like 210 pounds, and he can bench press like 500-600 pounds. Just crazy. I'm not saying he's a beast, but it's inspiring watching someone be able to transform their body that way by being so disciplined in their eating habits and their exercise regimens. That's all that matters to them. Is that just like for you and I, a lot of things that only matter to us is trying to build a business or increase our business. We're all about that business or the entrepreneurship, or just finding that next thing that really sparks an interest to you, that keeps you motivated, that keeps you going. For some people, it's business. For some people, it's weightlifting. For others, it's playing sports or whatever it may be. But really just trying to find that true inner spirit and get you going. So after I got off the phone with Marcus, a couple hours went by. I ended up talking to my buddy Joey, and Joey is definitely like that middle brother. You know, these people that are my influential people are like my brothers. And unfortunately, I didn't have no brothers growing up, so these are my brothers. But to Joey is one of those guys, like I say, he's like your middle brother. He's full of humor, full of energy, and he is just crazy. Joey is crazy. Joey, he currently handles a podcast called joeybets.com. Or it's a website, one or the other. But what he does, he discusses bad beats about poker hands that he's had and about winnings that he's had, and his passion and the love of his Philadelphia Eagles and his Phillies baseball team. And you can't forget about his cheesesteaks. The guy is passionate about cheesesteaks, and he is one person, well, he is the only person I personally have ever met that can make a cheesesteak that is just like mouth-watering, that you're just like, oh, give me another one. And I'm not a big fan of over-fulfilling myself with food, but man, I could eat like 2 or 3 of those cheesesteaks, and it's crazy. It's all about the roll. It's all about the meat. It's the way it's prepared. And I guess it's the love that he gives into his meat. That didn't sound right, but anyways, no pun intended. So, I discussed this concept with Joey. The thing with Joey is a person that is definitely highly motivated, but he has a hard time staying focused on a task. Absolutely. And I think sometimes a lot of us all have that problem, staying focused on a certain task. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's very, very common. You can't, I guess what I'm trying to get to is that sometimes I feel that he may think and look at business sometimes in the wrong ways. And what I mean by that is that he just looks, how can I make money? I don't look at business that way any longer. I used to be that guy that all I cared about was trying to make money, trying to be rich, trying to find the next best thing. I'd receive phone calls, emails, daily, nightly, people trying to pitch me their multi-level marketing idea, from Primerica to Send Out Cars, CyberWise, Amway, what else? I mean, Prepaid Legal, Nerium Now, Vima. I mean, the list could just go on. Like, I've heard all these pitches, even the ATM pitches, go try to sell people ATM machines and get them to install machines and the merchant accounts. I mean, I could just keep going on about all these interesting businesses that came to play. But with Joey, he's taking advantage of some of those, and unfortunately, he saw that they're a lot more work than what is told, which happens a lot. I mean, people are gonna sell you. I don't know. It's hard to really get interested in a multi-level marketing product or a service. And I'm not saying that they're all bad, because there's some legitimate ones out there that do provide good, solid results, or a software or a service that you can actually count on, versus something that you can't count on, I guess. I guess it's like selling someone a dream. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell you a dream. Oh, you get this many. I had a personal friend of mine, that was involved with the whole Beachbody wave that was going on a couple of years ago. And she did really successful at doing that. I mean, up to where she made it to the status of where they were giving her an allotment basically every month for her to purchase a car. So she went and purchased like a 7 Series BMW. The thing was beautiful, beautiful. But she was unable to keep up that same flow of new clients or people that were hooked on the Beachbody regime of P90X, what is it, Turbo Jam or something like that. And I think all those things are good, by the way. I think the workout exercise regimens that they have, they work if you stick to the plan. It's like anything else. You have to stick to the plan for it to work. It's so frustrating sometimes when you see these bad reviews or people are like, oh, it's a scam, it's a scam. I don't think multi-level marketing is necessarily a scam. Is there some bad assholes out there presenting some bad products? Of course, it happens. Okay, there's bad people in this world, unfortunately. It happens. But please don't dissuade that if you were looking into multi-level marketing or any network marketing program like that, please don't let my opinion dissuade you from joining anything like that. I personally just have never had success with it, but at the same time, I've never highly pursued any of them either. And I have seen people have success, but it's hard. It's a business. You got to keep chasing after people and to get them to keep wanting to buy, to maintain that subscription every month for whatever that may be, if it's a powder or I don't know, whatever they get. But anyways, so with Joey, he's been involved in a couple things like that. So it is somebody I like to just kind of discuss any potential ideas or opportunities I may have brewing in the back of my head or that I have ran across or whatever it may be. The downfall to our conversation today, I wasn't able to be clear enough and show him how the opportunity can make money. So he was very confused about, well, how's this make money? I kind of understand how it works, but I don't understand how you make money. So unfortunately, that kind of put a bug into it because Joey's more of a hands-on, he's got to see it to believe it, not hear it to believe it type guy. So we scheduled for him to come over on Monday. We're going to get it together. I'm going to kind of lay out the blueprint plan for him of what I have going on and what I have coming up, and kind of see, hopefully that can lay the value out and let him see that. What I want to do real quick, I just need to take a quick break, clear my throat, grab a drink. So if you can just give me a moment, and I'll be back in just probably about 2 minutes at the most. Be right back. All right, back. Sorry about that. So back to kind of leading off back to what I was saying was with Joey, he just couldn't see the concept of making the money. So he's going to come up on Monday, lay out that blueprint and kind of go over that. And maybe that will let him see the benefits or the opportunities that how this is going to make money and create different opportunities for people inside the online marketing business. Now, the fourth person I actually was able to speak with was a good friend I haven't spoke to in quite some time. I call him Mailman Mike. He's actually a post office worker. And prior to him being in the post office industry, I guess, he was in the SEO and search engine optimization and small businesses, helping small businesses with their search engine optimization from their websites. So I thought in my head, I'm not too familiar. I mean, I know the basic concepts of search engine optimization, but I'm not too familiar with the implementing those strategies inside of your website and the exact directions of how the keywords actually kind of rank and how to look at them. That's a whole nother skit realm in itself, is learning search engine optimization. So asking for some feedback, I kind of threw the idea out to him. I let him know. He's actually going to get back with me on Sunday. He's going to kind of look over everything I sent over to him, analyze it. He's one of the most creative people I know, and he has a very keen eye on attention to detail. So that was my number one reason why I really chose Mike to really kind of review this and go over it. But I did, and I apologize. Mike was actually, Melmy and Mike was the third person I talked to, because the fourth person was my boy Justin back in Ohio. I talked to him about the concept. He's a factory worker. He doesn't do anything online. He did a little eBay business where he built up some computers. He has a degree in computers, so he would build up a whole computer and sell it off to someone that was looking for something. But unfortunately, when he got into that market or into that niche business, it was kind of saturated, and then people would really start moving to like laptops and tablets, something, and kind of getting away from the dinosaur computers, I like to refer to them as. But so he doesn't have a lot of online knowledge necessarily. So I threw the idea over to him. Basically, it was like a pitch day. It's let me pitch the concept and the idea to 4 to 5 people in my circle, but at the same time, they're not online doing the same thing. I want a blind perspective, a blind opinion on this concept. So Justin, he saw it. He's like, I like it. I understand it. I see how, it makes money. He doesn't see how it can take you from 0 to 4,000 in 30 days. He doesn't see that. And it's there. It's there, people. It's all right there. But, I'm inspired by sharing my knowledge and assisting those to create a better financial future for themselves. And if I can just be 1% input of someone becoming more successful by utilizing something that I was able to share with them or show them or give them, rest assured, I would definitely feel that I've done my job and accomplished my goal. So what I've done, I've offered to work with 5 select individuals who are looking to start or to provide existing assistance to their business right now to grow it and to just kind of go over it. I'm basically have offered that off to 5 people. So what I did, I was thinking this earlier, I was like, well, shoot, let me just go into my personal contacts and not on Facebook and just put a message out there, put my status as the following. If you're a small business owner / entrepreneur, I'd like to talk with you in regards to a project I'm currently working on. Message me. Explanation. Now, I'll get my results tomorrow because I want to at least let this set for 24 hours and see what happens. But I can tell you already there's been 5 people that responded to that status I posted. So in my head already, that's better than 0. At least had 5 people with that one simple message, with me not putting anything else out about what I'm doing. I just put that one simple message out there, and 5 people in my own circle responded to me within like an hour of posting that message. It's better than nobody. So overall, pretty successful day, minus all the excuses of me taking the time out to talk to the influential people that help and inspire me to become a better person and a better business person every day. So what now it's time for me to basically kind of hop off this hangout. It has definitely been a true pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for listening to Day 4 podcast with Chris Lane. Like I said, you can always find me on Twitter, Chris Lane 760. But until next time, I'm off to work onto the site a little more. Hopefully hit the bed before 4 o'clock in the morning. Lately, my sleep schedule's probably been about 4 to 5 hours, and then that's it. So it's been a pleasure. I'm glad I got to do this again. Finally, feel like I'm starting to conquer my fear of being on video. So until next time, my name is Chris Lane, Twitter, Chris Lane 760. I'm out.